What's up everyone, my name is Alex, I'm one of the co-founders of myinvestingclub.com, and I want to let you guys know about something special we're doing for our viewers on YouTube. So the most common question we get asked is, how do I start day trading? So what me and my mentor Bao did is we create a free 2-hour mentorship course for the brand new trader. It's going to be available at myinvestingclub.co. The link is going to be right here. This is a free webinar that reveals our 12 secrets that every single brand new day trader should know before they start. I also want to let you guys know about something that's very unique to MIC. So if you have any questions about trading, or you're curious about trading, or you don't know if MIC is the right fit for you, now you can text our head mentor Tosh, whose number is going to be right here, and he'll answer all the questions that you have in less than 24 hours. Thank you and enjoy the video.
All right, what's up guys? Just gonna do another weekly recap. I'm gonna take it a little different this time. I'm gonna go quickly through my trades of the week because I have a couple other topics I want to touch on. So let's just dive right into it. So NMVC, the first one from yesterday that I really liked. It was kind of a big mover. I wasn't too interested in trading it in the morning until it kind of actually set itself up. I was kind of nervous because it's such a sketchy, it was just a sketchy move. This whole 7 to 13, and then, company-wise, I don't know. But, for nail and bail stuff, I became okay as the chart was set. So, kind of coming into the morning, so it's 1250 line. I've traded this stocks like this in the past, and you just start to become accustomed to it. So you have these little support levels around, 1180, call it 12. So my plan was I kind of wanted it to wash at the open, and then short a pop back. I loved how where the VWAPs and everything were. So I said if it washes at the open, I'll do that. If it spikes at the open, I'll have fantasy orders at 12 and 1250. I think traders get so confused, how to size, especially when the range is so big, and it is tough. It's a tricky thing. So you just have to size right. I mean, me personally, I like to stick with the 30% rule on the front side, but when the stock is this range, I only locate 2,000 shares, and I'll use 1,000 shares until I feel it's really broken down. So if I were trading this, past 1030, this is probably the only point I would have used my full size, right in here when it finally spiked and finally came all the way back down through VWAP, and you had all this overhead now, because now you have some real clear-cut levels to risk off of. That's just how I do it, so that way I don't get caught. If I was using big size, and sometimes you just get a little emotional using 50 cents to $1 range. So yeah, so let me get my executions too. I'm actually happy with this one because I avoided any real losses, and was just able to capitalize well and used all my tools, hard stops, everything. So in the morning you kind of got that wash, and then I said, all right, well, it washed pretty heavy from 1130 to 1050, so I'm gonna scale up, pop back. So that's all I did. Started scaling, and when I do a wash out of the open like that, right, I'm not looking to short big size because usually I'm anticipating it to move more. I mean, that's just not enough for me. So I was probably only using a couple hundred, 500 shares. Again, the range is enough. So spiked up into these two VWAPs. I used this range as my risk. I really was thinking, if it pushes back over 11 hard, I'll stop out and reevaluate. But ultimate risk was kind of this little line right here. So I just did that. It washed into this. It covered into this wash, and then spiked up a little bit more into this VWAP here, and just shorted a little bit and covered real quick because, again, I think I was getting a little greedy, thinking oh, maybe this is a death line play, but it should have broke death line, at this 1040, 1050 area, because it tested a few times and it just didn't. So I still had on 500 shares or whatever it was. And I left the hard stop on and said, all right, let's just see what happens, because if it breaks death line, there's enough range for this thing to go, God knows, it could go all the way down, so I can add size on the confirmation. And we didn't get it, and I had the hard stop in, and it just triggered. So, I kept a pretty tight risk on this one, thinking because if it's going to push, it's going to push hard. So went all the way up, stopped out, sat patiently, kind of waited. We kind of got this push to 1150, 1160 in here. I tried it because I kind of had a level at 1150. I'm thinking, maybe this line, whole $0.50 pushed pretty high. Hard stop, same thing. Gave it like, that was like 10% of my size. I'm like, okay, if this confirms, there's enough room I can add on the way down. Hard stop, even on the 10% size, and just, it took me. That's it. You know, I kind of got some slippage actually, because I was like at 1170 or something, and I had like an 1190, so I kind of got taken a little bit, but again, it's 10% size, so whatever. So then it just gave me the confidence to kind of sit back. 1250 was my last level, again, from this chart. So we kind of get that push to 1250, the reject. So I start shorting. When the way I use the 30% rule too is like a lot of times like these inner bullets, I'm using 10% or to 15% just to get a feeler, and I'll quickly add if I need to or take it off, because taking a 20-cent loss in 10% size is practically nothing. So when it gets to your outer line and it confirms, I'll use the full 30%, but outer line only usually. So anyway, so we get that push, reject, I put it on. Got a really nice wash, which pretty much just covered all of these small losses plus a little bit. We tank, and then all I can do now is short the pop. I have been now trading for a little bit, and I think one of the biggest lessons that I've kind of come across recently is that I've always wanted to make big money, and I've always talked about it. I just realized that for now, like where I am in my trading, like the small gains adding up consistently is what's actually building my bankroll. Of course, you have the bigger days, but I've talked about this in the past where you have to be kind of well-grounded, and you know, I'm always reminded to stay humble about the gains and stuff like that. But I wanted to talk about, you know, how people are always shooting for these massive gains every day. But by doing that, a lot of times you put yourself in a position where you're going to end up giving back a lot of money. And my biggest struggle recently has been, there's a lot of days, like I show my P&L every day, and most days I'm usually up more than that. And then I give it back because I'm like up 700. I'm like, I got to make 1,000. I'm up, you know, 1,000. I got to make 2,000. So, and then I end up 500 or up 200 or whatever. Where like if you can take a step back and look, you know, you see guys like Bao, Alex, like they're making 1,000 to 2,000 a day consistently, and yeah, I mean that's just what it is. You know, if they're doing that, then why the fuck can't we, right? So the last thing I want to touch on, so I ended this week plus 36.55. I just want to pull up the actual picture so I can give you the math. So took this week, right? Let's do the math. Those wins right there are nothing crazy. I think everyone in MIC has been given the ground to make these kind of wins. You know, I came into this week after a really good week last week and just said, I just need to stay kind of small size and just be grounded. That was it. That's kind of all I felt. So let me kind of add these together. On those 5 days, again, batting for singles every day, $3,655, right? I know there are people in MIC who make more. I know there are guys, you know, it's tough to see guys making shit ton of money every day. But the fact is, you have to recognize when you're not there yet. And I'm not there. I'm not consistently making 1,000 a day yet. I mean, I a lot of times will make 800 to 1,000, but I'm still having these days, these 500, 590, 648. You know, I have the $1,000 to $2,000 days every now and then, but my thing now is I'm trading a size that's very comfortable for me, and this is what I'm so confident. See, I've hit a point now where I'm just so confident in my process and how I trade. So now it's just doing this so consistently that as I size up and I trade better and, you know, mitigate the little mistakes in the greed, you know, like I just know, like I kept track, you know, this week, if I could just take back some of the greedy trades, like this day, you know, I was up almost 800. This day I was up more. This day I was up more, and then I think these two, this was just it. But almost all 3 of these days, except for Friday, which was this last day, so these 2 days, I'm sorry, I was up much more, almost double, which would have made this number closer to the 4s, maybe 5s, you know, who knows. So staying grounded and realizing like, this is good money, good money, all of this shit. And over time, this number is going to turn into, you know, this number will turn into that. I'm going to get out of here. I need to, today's October, it's Harpoon Fest. It's this sick brewery near my house, and I'm going to drink all day and say silly shit to people. So later, everyone, and enjoy your weekend.
Thank you so much for watching our video. If you want to see more of our videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the button here. We do our best to post a new video every single day. If you have any questions about MIC or any general trading questions, please text Tosh using the number here. Also, stay up to date by watching some of our most recent videos right over here.